Hey, so what I'm going to do here today is I looked all over the internet. I got myself a KTM 690 Enduro 2018, and I wanted some crash protection because I noticed that fellas said with the radiator being right here, you crash and stuff and you can end up breaking it. So I've dumped the bike a few times, and other than messing up the brake pedal, and I got a clean speed one coming in the mail, I wanted to get some crash protection. So I found T-Rex Racing had some crash bars online, but I couldn't find any videos on how they installed or what people thought of them. So just to give you an idea, this is what they look like, and they seem pretty high quality. I really like the orange, and I found some videos of them installed on the bikes, and they look really good. So the idea being that they're going to mount here, and because I like the KTM trellis frame, I really like the way that this looks. So we're going to do a step-by-step, and we'll see how she goes. So the way the kit works is this is going to be mounted right here, but the stock bolts are recessed in here. So what ends up happening is you're not going to reuse these bolts. They provide you some spacers and some new bolts with the kit. So you're going to get some bigger spacers and some smaller spacers. The bigger one is going to go in here, and the smaller one is going to be recessed in here. Save your bolts, put them in your parts bin for whatever reason, and you're going to have your new bolts, and then you're going to put them in here. I'm going to do the right side first, and then I'm going to move over to the opposite side. The crash bar has a middle beam piece here that slides into the other bolts. So do one side here, and then when I'm fitting the other side on, I can bolt her all together and do everything hand tight, obviously, until you're ready to finish it. I took off the bottom cover, but I just realized that when you remove these bolts that hold your skid plate on, when this is attached, it's actually, this portion is going to cover it. So something to keep in mind, when you need to drop your skid plate, you're going to have to drop your bars from, because from what I can tell, it's going to cover those tangs. But small price to pay if you want the extra protection, right? So I'm going to have to throw my skid plate back on. Luckily I got many thousands of kilometers left on this oil because it's been a brand new fill. So come the spring, when I'm ready to get riding, because it's winter up here in Canada, so get her all sorted out. So I'm going to start with this upper bolt. It's a Torx style, right? So it's like a 6-point, as you can see. So it's a T45. So let's get this guy out of here. Right, that's one out. So for your engine through bolt, which goes here, you've got an 8mm hex like this on the right side, and on the left side you've got a 13mm bolt. So I got to remove that 13, or sorry, it's a nut on the long bolt. Trying to turn the 8mm side is stupid, so don't be like that. Don't be stupid. Do this side first and get the... Now, it may sound like it's turning, but I was getting no movement a moment ago. So let me put an 8mm on the other side. So let's get an 8mm on the other side so it stops rotating. And let's get the bolts ready. There we go. So 13mm nut removed, and a bolt that, perfect, I can push through. So here's a stock bolt removed, let's move to the other side and throw on the... Alright, so I got all my bits. Let's see how... Oh, grab the right side. So this is going to go like this. So step one, upper washer or upper spacer right here. Bolt. There we go. Like I said, hand tight. Just bottom spacer. Let's get in this little, you'll see how it sticks in there. Long bolt. There you go. And she comes out the other side nicely. Perfect. I'm just going to leave that loose like that, and we'll move to the other side and throw her together. And I think she'll come together, she'll go together pretty easy, and I don't think it's going to be as much of a pain in the ass dropping the cover down here as I was worried it might be. To the other. So, we're going to start the other side. I have to remove this side's Torx T45. T45's out and away. Put our spacer in there. Throw this guy up. Actually, I can slide. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it like this. Slide this spacer here because you got a nice long bolt sticking out. Makes it fairly easy to get into. Like I said, I'm doing everything loose because we got to slide the middle portion together. It's got a 5mm Allen bolt that when you slide these two together, alright, I want to make sure. So the bolt hole, I need it to line up, and it looks like I'm going to have to do some pushing. Shove her together, get her in. So let's see if I can do that. I think I might have some powder coating in here. I'm going to have to loosen this other piece because it's too tight. But that's the way it came. But it looks like there's some adjustment, and I believe because this is slightly elongated, this guy, since he's tight, once I loosen him, we'll get that extra bit of space. Let's take a look. Alright. Okay, this moves now. Let's see what happens. Slide it a bit. Okay, so I think I might actually have to open up that. Oh, no, maybe not. Looks like I got quite a bit of space over here. It looks like I should have lots of... Oh, you know what? It's just... I think... Yeah, she's just tight. Okay, so you're going to find that this hole... I got it to line up here. So there, you'll see how it's going in. So I just had to back this one out enough, grab a hold of it, wiggle it, and push it out, because these holes that are in the bar, they're elongated to allow for, obviously, the bit of play that's needed, because every bike, every frame's a little different. And now I'm good to go for tightening it. So my plan is to tighten these two first to make the frame solid before I tighten the parts that attach to the bike. The instructions don't tell me which ones to do first. They just have some basic pictures, so I'm not going to go too crazy on these. Now we got a 13 millimeter nut right here to go on this, and it looks like there's enough length here that I'm going to need a deep 13 mil or grab a 13 mil open end wrench, and my 8 mil right here. This will tighten right up. Okay, so got that one on. Got my, get the other side tightened. Doing the same one up top here, the 8 millimeter engine mount on the right hand side. Okay, and grab myself a 13 mil box wrench to put on this fella down here. And my 8 mil right here on the right side. I'm using a ratchet box end just so that I can tighten just the nut side, so I'm not trying to turn the whole engine mount bolt. So, wow, I'm happy with that. That's nice and solid. Let's go, let's have a look-see. Let's have a look-see. So, she's, I like that. The orange matches the frame very nicely. I'm very happy with that. And I like the, it's got the aluminum sliders. I find that would be more for your supermoto bike, but if I lay her down, I think in the snow, well, not snow, sorry, in the dirt, it's not as big of a deal. But this is what I was looking for, is you have the bar here, and this is where the radiator is, and they sell radiator guards that go behind the plastic to brace it, but this will now transfer the force to 2 frame points, right? And it's attached at the other side, and it can't push into each other because the pieces, the force isn't going through, it's not going through the bolts, right? These bolts, they're tightened. However, this piece of steel butts up against here, so any force that goes this way, you know, push into this side, and then you've got another 2 bolts over there. So there's 4 points that it's going to share the force. So I go and lay it down right now in the snow, but you can see my handlebars are, they don't have the bark busters on them because I'm going to be adding heated grips. They're on the way, but I got my bark busters. Once I get those on, we can lay her in the snow. Or you know what, let's throw some bark busters on and lay her in the snow anyway. Alright, so we got her outside, and nice guards on there. They're solid. I got the tusk racks. They're solid. So, throw the bark busters on. Let's have a looky-loo at what happens when we lay her down. Alright, so let's get in for a closer peek. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see in there, but the guard is definitely touching the ground first, and the radiator's well above it, a good few inches off the ground. Tusk racks, they're touching the ground good. Can't complain there. And it's hard to tell. You definitely got the foot peg is up, but I can see the, I don't know if you can see it in there, but the shift lever on the KTM moves, and it's still out the same way. And then bark buster, obviously, suckers are nice and slow. Actually, bark buster's not even touching, which means it's sitting on the bar Normally this is taking it, right? And that's not, so good to go. Let's see what the other side looks like. Great. Okay, let's lay down the other side. So that's what I mean, like, it's definitely sitting on the bar, but when I'm up here, that's touching, but it's definitely taking, like, normally this is cocked pretty much like that. It's on the bar completely right there. So let's have a looky-loo. Take the camera off of here, and let's see what. So same thing, the bar, it's definitely sitting on the bar, and here's where I had an issue before. So when I crashed once, I don't know if you can see my brake pedal, it's pretty much very dead center, and you can see it's not bent up touching the case. I Swiss cheesed or spaghetti stringed that stock one, and you can even see the foot peg is only a little bit cocked off, which means if I crash again the way I did before, I'm not going to fuck up that peg. And even though I got a new peg coming, or sorry, a new brake pedal, I do have new pegs as well. It's sitting on the bars and the tusk racks. This is awesome. I'm super excited. This is great. So let's see how hard the sucker is to pick up. In case you were curious, since you didn't see it the last time, it's not difficult at all. So the bike is, I think, it's like 300 pounds dry. Had your 12 liters. It's about, I don't know, 330 pounds or so. But I can easily grab it, grab the bars, do a squat, stand up, bike's up. So all the snow is right, lots of snow right here. This never moved, bit of snow in here, a little bit on my spool, and then right here. So when she lays over, she touches here, and you can see the snow in there. That's what I'm looking for. I love the orange. It's, I find the orange looks great. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait till the snow is gone and I can take her out for a rip. So there you go. T-Rex crash bars, KTM Enduro 690. This one's a 2018 model, but I'm pretty sure it's the same ones, if I remember, from 2012 and up, and maybe not for the new 2019, but there you go. Okay, so if you weren't tracking all the tools that I used, this is it. So